like these chapters because you have a couple of chapters where David, basically everything's going good. Everything's going good, life is good, life is perfect. And we say a lot of times, you could tell a lot about somebody's Christianity by how they handle bad times and problems. And I think that's really true. I think when someone's going through a really tough time, how they respond to that shows what type of Christian they are. But I also think it's true when things are going really, really well, how you handle that time also is also very, very revealing. What you do when everything is perfect and everything is good and you're not running for your life and you have all the money you need and everybody likes you and everybody thinks you're wonderful and you're the most popular kid at school and you're homecoming queen, and you're homecoming king and you're quarterback of the football. I mean, everything's just great. Life is great. How you handle that is also very revealing when it comes to your Christian life. And David here, these are a couple of chapters where everything is just perfect. It's peaceful. The Bible said there that he had rest from all of his enemies. Nobody was challenging him. And if they didn't like him, they didn't let him know. They were having peace with him. Not even the Philistines were attacking. Not the Amorites were attacking. Everybody knew their place and everything was just good. And you see how David handled this time. When he had all this time and all this money and all this power, the first thing he thought of was he said, I want to build the Lord a house. You know why I really like our workers so much? We have such great workers because anytime they have free time, they're looking to invest in the things of the Lord. Most of your workers today were working jobs. They drove from far. They're tired. If they pass out, Miss Alejandra falls asleep in that chair, I understand, because they are busy, busy people. They're doing a lot of things. Miss Victoria is pregnant, and yet here she is helping and serving. I love our workers because when our workers have free time, they want to invest that time in the Lord. They could be anywhere, doing anything they want. They could be out there partying. They could be out there celebrating. They could even just be at Olive Garden. Nothing wrong with Olive Garden, but they want to be here tonight. And I like that. I love that. And that's how David was. David had free time, and he chose it to invest back in the Lord. Now, I'm not saying you can't have fun. I'm not saying you can't have a good time with your friends. I'm not saying you shouldn't play video games or enjoy yourself. But when you have the ability to do things for the Lord, are you looking to do more for Him? Are you looking to add more? You're looking to grow more, looking to do more for the Lord. Yes, you come on Wednesday night. I love that. Thank you. A lot of you will be back here on Sunday. Some of you will be here Sunday morning, and you'll be back here Sunday night. Some of you will be here at least one of those. I can't get Marcus and Darlene up in the morning, so they come Sunday afternoon. I like that, right? They're here on Sundays. That's what I'm talking about. What about you doing more, though? Adding more. Doing more than you're already doing. That's what David thought. That's how David's mind worked. Yeah, I'm the king, but what more can I do for the Lord? It's very revealing that with his free time and his money and his power and his influence, he wanted to invest that back into the Lord and into the things of the Lord. And so he comes up with this great idea. And he's sitting there talking with Nathan the prophet, and this is a very close friend of his. He says, look at this house that we've built. It's built out of cedar, some of the finest wood. It even smells good. I love that fresh tree smell. You know what I'm talking about? You buy little trees. Right now I have black ice in my car, but I like the pine tree smell. You know what I'm talking about? I love pine. So I love that smell. His house was made out of cedar. Probably smelled really nice and fresh in there. And he said, I sit in this house made of cedar wood, finest wood, and the Ark of the Covenant, which is supposed to house the presence of the Lord, it's stuck behind some curtains. And that's not right. It's not right that I live in a house made of wood and God lives in a makeshift tent called the tabernacle that we can take down and pop up at a moment's notice. That's why they had the tabernacle, because when they're traveling through the wilderness, they need to keep on moving. They need to be able to take it down and put it back up, and take it down and put it back up quickly and easily. And David said, those days are over. We're not traveling anymore. This is our city. We're not going anywhere. Why is the Ark of the Covenant still in a tabernacle? It's in a tent. And look at this beautiful house I live in. Look at this palace. He said, that's not right. Nathan says, do whatever you want, man. God is with you. God is for you. If that's what you want to do, man, God's good with it. Now, Nathan was a great man. He was a prophet of the Lord, but he was actually dead wrong here. Because that very night, when Nathan got to his house, God said, Nathan, he goes, go back and tell David, no, you're not building the house. Go back to him and tell him, when have I, the Lord, ever asked for a house? I never asked for a house. The tabernacle, that was my idea. I'm the one that established it. It was my idea to put it behind these curtains. I never once said, hey, how come you guys haven't built me a house yet? I've never said that. I've never asked anyone to do it. But God said, but I like the idea. It's a good idea. Nobody had thought to do that. This is David's idea. This is his brainchild. You ever had a really good idea and then somebody else takes credit for you, your idea? It kind of stinks, doesn't it? You clean the kitchen and your sister takes yeah, Mom, did you see me clean the kitchen? Liar, I cleaned the kitchen. You're taking all of the glory when I'm the one that did it. You're in school and you do a project together with a partner, the partner's a lazy bum. They don't do anything. You're the one that built it. You're the one that did the studying. You're the one that did the typing. And then you both get the same grade. And you want so bad to say to the teacher, this guy is a deadbeat. She is a lazy slob. I did all the work. I should get the A, and she should get the crooked A, which is actually an F. I mean, that would be fair, right? This is David's idea. And God says, it's a good idea. It's truly your idea. I never asked for this, but it's a good idea. I like the way you're thinking, but you won't be the one to build this house. That will go to your son, who it wasn't his idea. He didn't sit around thinking about doing this. This was David's idea. And God said, you can't do it. Now, he doesn't give him a reason here why he can't, but we see the reason in other parts of the Bible. Solomon talks about it, and in Chronicles it talks about it. The reason David couldn't build this house was God said, you have too much blood on your hands. I mean, David, you've killed quite a few people, like in the hundreds maybe. Like, you're a great warrior. You've gone to battle. You've killed a lot of people. I mean, your claim to fame was you killed the giant, you cut off his head, and then you walked around with it all day. I mean, while I appreciate you killing the giant, I don't want a guy with blood on his hands to build my house. Now, if I'm being honest here, if I was David, that would sting just a little bit. David wasn't killing God's people. David wasn't killing righteous people. In fact, when David had a chance to kill Saul, who was trying to kill him, David said, no, I won't do that. 2 times David could have killed Saul, and he said, I won't do that. The only people David was killing was, the bad guys, the guys that deserved it. And he did it for the Lord. And now God is holding that against him? Now God is saying, because you killed these people, that, by the way, they deserved it. I don't mind that you killed Goliath. Because you did that, though, you can't build my house. That is a tough pill to swallow. That is you doing something really good, and because you did good, you now have to miss out on something. That is, you get extra credit at school, and so because of you're, the president of whatever, or you're the ROTC general, like Alyssa is, you don't get to go on the Disney trip because we need you here to stick up all the little ROTC flags. You're like, oh, wait a minute. Everybody's going to Disneyland, and I got to be here and put up the flags? Yes, that's your job. You're the captain. Well, wait a minute. This is a bad idea. I don't want to be captain anymore. I want to go to Disneyland and walk around and wait an hour in line for Pirates of the Caribbean. Lamest ride ever, but it's okay. Right? David here, he wanted to do something, and God says, no, you can't do it. And the reason is kind of a tough pill to swallow. But you don't see David complain about it at all. You don't see David make a fuss about it at all. You don't see him question God at all. You don't see him even have a bad attitude about it. This guy, when God tells him, you won't do it, but your son will do it, David gets on his hands and his knees, and he says, I'm not worthy for you to bless my family. Who am I and who is my family that you should bless us so much? That you should tell us that my son is going to do all these great things, because if I couldn't build the temple, at least my son's doing it. And man, I hope he does a good job. And for you to say that you took away the mercy from Saul, but you won't do that to me and to my family, man, God, you're so good. David, you just see from the good times here just how incredibly close to God that he was. So much so that when he gets bad news, what he would call bad news, he wanted to build this house. This was his idea. And God says, yeah, no, you can't do that. He said, okay, sounds good to me. I am okay with that. This is very, very rare. The Bible is filled with people not being able to do things that they were expecting to do. Moses never got to go into the promised land, that he wandered in the wilderness 40 years. And God said, you're not going in. Because you sinned, you will die on the mountain. You will see it, but you will never go in. Joseph, yes, he got to rule Egypt, and he got to see his father before his father died. But Joseph was away from his beloved father for over 20 years. And you know what? He never got those years back. Those years were just wasted. Job, yes, in the end, he gets twice as much back. He gets all of his kids. But he still had to bury 10 children. And that happened. And no matter how many more kids he had, that did not change the fact that he had to bury 10 of his children. The Bible is filled with disappointing stories. And how people handled the disappointment shows a lot about their character. And I don't know of anyone that handled it better than David did here. Now, you have disappointing things that happen in your life. Some of you daily. I mean, it happens all the time. Your life feels like one big walking disappointment, right? How do you handle that? How are you handling the disappointments that come? The things that go wrong in your life that you're not happy about, how do you handle it? Are we handling it the way David did? Where we say, man, God, bless your name. I have a terrible home life. Things are struggling with my parents. We have no money. We're about to lose our apartment. We're hungry. I have a terrible relationship with my parents. And I've tried to fix it and they're bad. You know what, God? You are so good. Or do you say, man, this stinks. If God was real, he would fix my situation. If God was real, he would never let this happen. If God was real, you're not like David at all. You're so different from David. But the goal here should be to have the attitude that David had, where he said, yeah, this is disappointing, but man, God knows best. Yeah, I'd like to build the house, but man, God's going to let my son do it. That's really good too. Man, this was my idea, but it's not about that. It's not about the credit. Not about who gets to have the temple named after them. Let it be my son's temple. That's fine. His son who's going to build this isn't even born at this point. David was okay. Now, how was David able to handle such disappointment and such bad news? Well, the obvious answer is he just really, really, really had a deep, abiding love for the Lord. He was just in love with God. Man, he was so in love with God. God was his favorite person. God's not a person, but God was just, man, God was the best to him. And he loved God more than anything. And if he could do anything with his time, he wanted it to be with God. And if he could, God was just everything to him. His thoughts and his money and his influence, everything. He just loved God so much. Now, can we be honest? A lot of you, the thought of loving God is very foreign to you. It's very foreign. Like, I love God. But like, you don't really even understand that. You never talk to him. You never really spend time with him. Like, you know he's there somewhere. I don't know where. He's somewhere up there. And I know he watches over my life. Sort of, right? He does, doesn't he? Doesn't he? Right? He does, right? I mean, like, you kind of know, but the idea of spending time with him seems kind of extreme. And the thought of loving him, it's way over your head right now. It's way over your head. But just like David, what allowed him to handle so much in his life was that he had this deep, abiding love for God. And if there was anything I could give to you, I could pass to you, I could teach to you, I could encourage you, it would be for you to cultivate a real love for God. Knowledge is not enough. Being able to have the right answers and name all the books in the Bible, that's a great start. You having a love for God. A love for God will help you be able to trust him. Because some of you really need that. You need to be able to trust God because things are not going the way you want them to go. But if you have that love for God, you'd be like David where you'd say, man, God, I don't know why you're doing it, but man, you know what you're doing. You know way more than I know, and so I trust you and I believe you. This love for God will just carry you throughout your life and in all your decisions. I know you care about God. It means something to you. You came here for a reason. It wasn't for the ice cream. It wasn't for the chips. It wasn't for the amazing game, Brother Jacob. Thank you, Brother Jacob. You came because there is a love of God in your heart. But I think, what I do, it's part of my schedule. My friends are here. I would much rather you come to the church for the wrong reasons than to not come at all. We've had guys come, the only reason they came is because they liked the girl. We've had girls come, the only reason they came is they liked the guy, or they had nothing else to do, or they wanted free food. They'd come for the wrong reasons, but I didn't care. I knew they were here for the wrong reasons, but I didn't care because they were here. I'd much rather you be here for the wrong reasons than not be here at all. But don't stay that way. Don't stay coming for the wrong reasons. We eventually want you to grow as a Christian, and what we really want is for you to be able to say, I love God. Amen. He's my favorite person. I love everything about him. And even when things happen to me that I don't understand and maybe I don't even agree, I'm okay because I trust him, because I know he has my best interest at heart. Now you can have that. David was a man just like we are. He was human just like us. He had a heart and two lungs just like we do. One nose, two ears just like we do. If he could do it, so can you. God is not a respecter of persons. He doesn't say I like you and don't like you. He gives everybody the same chance. And the young people in here that want to have a love for God, you can have it if you want it. It's 100% up to you and your choice. Dear Lord, thank you for tonight. Thank you, Lord, for these young people. I pray, God, as we continue to study the life of David, I pray, God, that you would just help us to learn so much from him. These are the good days. I love these chapters. And David's life was just so awesome. I pray, God, we could love you the way he did. I mean, he wrote psalms to you. He wrote poems to you. He wrote stories about you. He was just so consumed with you. I know a lot of times we're not. We kind of push the Bible aside. We don't pray like we could. We're just so focused on other things. I pray, God, some young people tonight, if nothing else, tonight they would make the decision. And they would say, I know for a fact I could love God more. I at least want to make that decision that I'm going to attempt to grow my love for God. I don't even know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and get in the Bible. I'm going to try and pray. I just want to love God more than I do tonight. I pray, God, there'd be some young people that would be willing to say that. They'd be willing to put it into action, and we could see them growing with you. We'll give the praise and glory for it. In your name I pray, amen.